This pre-season tour here of the States is brought to you by Oxford Natural and Gowan Loud, your friends.
Oxford Natural.
And I tell you what,
yes.
They are not playing about, you are not playing about.
No.
You can scan the QR code on the screen to get 70% off.
Do it now. I'm optimized.
It's like this, the South got something to say.
Yes, people, Manchester United 2, Everton 2, as the summer series curtain has come down on the USA tour. It is complete. We're on our way back to England. I was going to say London then. United fans in London, all them things there. But on our way back after a 2-2 draw, and we've obviously lifted the Summer Series Cup, which is, you know, listen, it's pre-season, that's a little trophy and that, but winning breeds winning. You got to get into good habits. I'll break down the tour second, but I want to talk about obviously what happened tonight. There was a lot of things that I liked today. I think I want to start with the positives because there were some negatives in some of the things we didn't do so well and some of the problems that we still may have, which are obviously still present. But I want to start with the positives. Let's start with Mbeumo. I was very, very pleased. Very, very pleased with his performance, his first 45 minutes for the club. He obviously come off at half-time just to get the first minutes in the tank and then go again on the weekend, next weekend against Fiorentina at home. But what I liked about it is that we got the glimpse of exactly why he was needed, that type of player. There's a long way to go, but immediately, first couple of touches, one was like a cushion pass, I think, back to Bruno when it got pinged to him from Lenny Yoro. And then we're on the front foot, and then there was a sort of counter-attacking moment or an attacking moment or attacking phase from that. Getting on the turn and being able to carry the ball through the thirds. He's quite happy to do that. Working hard off the ball as well, linking up with Ahmad and Cunha, who I thought Cunha actually had a bit more of a quiet game today. He wasn't at his best. But I saw exactly what he's going to be able to bring. I think he's a top player, and top players, as soon as they walk into the system, even if they haven't quite bedded in yet, even if there's way more for them to do, their basic fundamentals will be present. And there was a lot of times where, you know, he's played a first time ball during the build-up phase, just straight to Ahmad, knowing not to take an extra touch, knowing he doesn't need to do too much and overcomplicate the move. He's very clever with what he's doing and very clean and very crisp. Of course, so much more to come from him, and it's too early to start doing a madness. But as far as debuts go, I liked what I saw from him. I like that we're more willing to break the lines in those half spaces in the final third. That's what I saw. I saw that when we did sort of beat the Everton press or play around them and be playing forward, we gave Everton a lot of problems. You know what I mean? Because actually, I'll give credit to Everton. Everton were very aggressive and really, really physical of us. And in the opening exchanges of the match, I would say they were looking the more comfortable team. But when we did sort of switch it on and inject that pace and intensity into the passing, all of a sudden they couldn't live with us. You had Ahmad running down that right-hand side, coming in from right wing back, him linking up with Mbeumo, and then little touches from Cunha, and of course you add Bruno into that as well. So I really like those little combinations that led to just chances. Now listen, the penalty for Ahmad was that weren't a penalty. It weren't a penalty at all. But how we arrived in that moment for him to be given the opportunity to go at Tarkowski was what I'm talking about. Cunha as well. His execution wasn't as good as it needed to be. I think he was a little bit wasteful with some balls, but the intent and how he can take the ball, we just look more potent in that area already in terms of chance creation. And that was with Matheus Cunha up front. And that's another thing today. Matheus Cunha was up front. That's not really, you know, you're going to miss a lot from his game with having him up front. He could probably fill in there here and there. It says a lot that he wanted to have a look at it. It's pre-season. We have to look at all options, because if Rasmus is still here come the start of the season and we still don't have Benjamin Sesko, we need to know what we're looking at there, you know. Bruno Fernandes, I think this is he was man of the match today and gets a goal and an assist. I think we saw the things that Bruno does well, which is no matter where he plays on the pitch, he finds a way to influence the game, right? So he scores the penalty, which, you know, wasn't a penalty, but he scores it, and he gets an assist for Mason Mount. But I also saw the things that worry me with Bruno playing in that position. I saw the things that I've been going on about before we even kicked the ball for pre-season. As soon as it was noted, of course, that we're going to bring in Mbeumo and Cunha and Mbeumo and Cunha, and Bruno's going to go back one into the midfield positions, alarm bells starting to ring for me in terms of what his partnership is going to look like. Bruno is a player who's always going to try things. I don't think we can expect him to not do that, you know. And he's a high volume chance creator. That's what he does. That's what he does on the tin, and he does that to the best of his ability. But now he's playing back one. That for me will expose the weaknesses. I mean, when he's closer to the goal, making things happen. It's cash money Bruno, right? As I like to call it, cash money Bruno. But now he's playing further back. He's not really got it in him to change his approach. His approach is always going to be, I want to find that killer pass. I want to put people through. Now, some of it today was not because he played the wrong pass. It was because the execution just wasn't there and he gave the ball away. Other times, it was through just choosing the wrong pass for the wrong situation. And he was obviously in there next to Ugarte. And listen, Ugarte, although I don't agree with like the hate that he gets of how extra it is, he's our player and we want him to do well this season. But at the same time, if you just look at it for the pure football side of it, I think him and Bruno is not going to work. I really don't. I really don't think that that's going to work. I think that there's going to be situations where... Kobe, to be fair, Kobe was playing next to Ugarte today, but I still think even with the two of those in terms of Bruno and Ugarte, I don't see that being a partnership that we can rely on. Kobe and Ugarte is not going to be a partnership that we can rely on. I think Ugarte he's got the streak in him where he can get about, he can get in people's faces, he can win the ball back. But we saw today there was probably in a quick succession, probably in the second half, 3 or 4 or 5 times just consistently losing the ball, taking bad touches, putting the team back under pressure. Which, listen, at the same time, we were praising Ugarte with the game that he had against Bournemouth, I think it was. Or was it the first game against West Ham? The first game against West Ham, he was really good. So there are going to be games where Ugarte plays well. Like, he's not a totally awful player who's never going to be able to do anything. But the number 6 position for me, I think, again, today shows us if people put it on us in that area, we don't retain the ball well enough. We spoke to Lenny Yoro afterwards, and even, you know, if you look at the quotes from Ruben Amorim and Bruno Fernandes, you know, Bruno Fernandes said, we didn't want to end the tour with a performance like that. There was some mistakes and lapses of concentration, and I think we got pulled apart a little bit in midfield. It's what I worry for as the season goes on. If we don't get a 6, as the season begins, if we don't get a 6, but I think overall, it's been a good tour. I think you can't get carried away with it. I think it showed us it showed me anyway, the weaknesses I knew was already there. It showed us that, but what it has done is given us a new look and an insight into what can be with the players that we bought. And I have seen more intensity. I've seen us playing with more purpose, more quality, largely. The first 2 games I think we were flawless. They were really good. Second game, I think we had more moments than domination, and I think Everton really put it on us. But overall, it's been a good tour here in the States. I want to big up Patrick Dorgu. I think he's probably been my player of the tour. I think he's really showing what you're getting on that left hand side, because when you had Dallo in there in the first half, he wasn't attacking as fluidly as Patrick Dorgu would, and in the second half it was the same thing when he went to the other side. So I think that clearly, like, Patrick Dorgu is the man at that left wing back. That's his position, and when you have Ahmad at right wing back as well, you've just got those two sort of attack minded. I mean, Dorgu's getting there with the attacking, but obviously Ahmad is an attacker converting into that wing back space. So him going forward and linking up with Mbeumo could be really mouthwatering. So you clearly got to get the striker in. I don't want to see Cunha playing too many games up there. But overall, I'm pleased. Listen, you can't get carried away. But if we were to come here and seen a continuation of last year and just seeing these men just swanning around the pitch, not really doing anything, if we would have saw this performance like 65% of what we saw tonight for the whole of the tour, I'll be very, very concerned. Because look, we've been here the last couple of years in America, scratching our heads when we're flying back to England and saying, oh my God, what are we going to do? And listen, we're not fixed, we're not back. There's still plenty of work to do, but the performances coupled with the noises we're hearing off the pitch from speaking to players directly, we've caught up with quite a lot of them, from speaking to club staff, from speaking to journalists, the feeling in the camp is there. The feeling that the togetherness is there. That I think is massive. So yeah, over to the boys. And we can't forget, actually, pre-season's not over. There's a very important game against Fiorentina. Yes, David De Gea is coming back. We caught up with Andre Onana in the back as well, off camera, and he was like, I hope you guys do something nice for David. That was a nice touch for him. Some of you might have some unsavory things to say, like bring David back, and I won't be against that. But it was nice for him to say that. But away from the sentiment of David De Gea returning back to Old Trafford, we got a game to play, and that is the last time that we're going to get it out in before we need to be ready for the next week against Arsenal. There's no messing about here. We have to be ready. So that is not a friendly of just going through the motions in front of a packed Old Trafford, which I'm sure it will be. It is not friendly. We have to take that serious. And I like the fact that Everton were very aggressive today and exposed us a little bit, because you do need those little reality checks to just show you where you was at. The second goal was poor that we conceded. And actually Mason Mount, I want to pick him up. I think Mason Mount was good, and he's had a decent tour where he's come on off the bench as well. Great take from him. He needs to do more of that and actually stay healthy. It's going under the radar that he stayed healthy for a long time. And speaking of healthy, Luke Shaw, let's have it right. He's had a good tour, man. He's had a good tour. For what we make of Luke Shaw, and we all know away from it, you know, about his future and this, that and the other, but he's trying to put that behind him. And guess what? He's going to be our starting left centre-back. And the left centre-back position actually does really suit him. He's a clever player. He's a physical player. And he understands the game well. Luke Shaw's biggest problem, obviously, is availability. But when he's available, he's a competent centre-back. Left centre-back now. We're not going to see him going up and down the wing as a left-back or a left wing-back in the system, which suits him down to the ground. So I actually don't have any problem with him playing there. It's just that inevitability of hope, you know, when's the next injury, which hopefully we manage him well, and that doesn't happen. You've got young Aiden Heaven in there who just needs games and needs time. You can't just be thinking he's the man now and just get him in. It should be Luke Shaw. So listen, I know a lot of people want him to leave and stuff like that, and that's probably what should happen after so long, but he's here. Ruben believes in him, and most of all, he's fit. He's had a good tour and played well again tonight. Played well against Bournemouth, played well again tonight. I think all the three centre-halves, Lenny Yoro, he's just going from strength to strength. He's looking really comfortable and confident. They're putting him out in front of the media loads. That's the second time I spoke to him on tour, and he's, you know, same age as Cobby, isn't he? So you're starting to see that he's doing really well. So good tour. I'm really happy with it. Smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Get us back to Old Trafford for the David De Gea send-off and the last game before we play Arsenal. Peace.